Good evening. Welcome to the Paint Party live stream. I'm so glad to have you in the studio with me this evening. It is a warm summer day here in the mountains. It, I think, got up to probably 87, 88 today, but the feel-like temperature was in the 90s, and without air conditioning, it's a bit toasty. My studio is actually in the attic of the building I live in, and so it is quite warm. I have several fans going and all the windows open, but it is great to be with you in the studio yet again. Some of you may wonder, hey, I thought last week you said we would bump it to Tuesday, and I did say that. I had to actually go back and check myself because about 20 minutes before this, I was set to go live, I thought, oh, I was going to bump it to Tuesday for some reason. I cannot remember why. Nothing on my calendar. I said I had something to do this evening, but I'm hoping it wasn't too important, but I guess it's just a sign of aging. That said, glad to have you here in the studio with me this evening. This is my Learn to Paint journey. Every week I try to meet with you all as often as possible to paint or work on a painting live in front of you so you can see my journey. In that process, I do enjoy interacting with you so you can participate in the live stream anywhere where you're watching through the comments on whatever platform that you come across this live stream on. So feel free to ask questions, make comments, suggestions as we go through the evening. That is always appreciated. And yeah, let's jump right in. I'm going to switch over to this camera as I get set up with my canvas camera, and we will just see. I'm hoping that my technology all worked with the syndicating software, because I did change it, so it should be today as opposed to tomorrow. We shall see if it went out correctly. All right, I'm going to put this on. Otherwise, it'll just be me painting to myself and by myself this evening, which is absolutely fine. All right, this painting has already been started, as you can tell. Oh, you can't tell because you can't see it. I'm just setting up the camera. You will be able to see it in just a short moment. There we go. Now let me get you back. Welcome, welcome to those of you just popping in. Glad to have you. I'm going to put up my palette there. Let me also show the reference photo. This is the reference photo. The painting you are looking at is a little different angle because I have to do that to try to avoid glare, but also because I don't have the ability to widen the angle here. So let me back up a little bit. Maybe that's better. Maybe tough, but you can see that I have already started this one last week, or this past week. And so what we want to do, I have it pretty much locked in. Welcome, welcome. I see now a bunch of people, several people popping in, and I do apologize for those of you who were expecting to see me tomorrow. I had said last week that I was going to go live tomorrow and instead of tonight because I had something to do, and I can't remember what that was, and there's nothing on my calendar. And I looked all through social media events to see if it was something in the community. It's probably something I said jokingly, I hope it wasn't important. It probably was something that was important that I have just completely spaced, and I feel badly if that is the case. But such is life, and such is life as we age, no? All right, so let me, actually, I was getting all settled before. I need to get some gloves on, even though it's a little miserable to be gloving up because it is so warm here. That said, we will make it through, won't we? All right, I'm just picking a few filbert brushes out. So I have some brushes on this side of the camera, and we'll see what we can do. As always, you can participate in the comments wherever you are watching this live stream, so feel free to ask questions, make comments, engage in the comments. Happy to interact with you throughout the live stream. I guess that's the point of live streaming, isn't it? Okay, so what I want to do now is see, like I said, I got this blocked in. I'm going to put some paint on my palette just so we have a little bit out, and then we'll get started, see what we really need to focus on first. Let's go. We'll put a little ultramarine blue, which is kind of a staple of my palette, and then some burnt umber. There's white, and let's see what else. Oh, we will need, for sure, because of the main focal point, we'll definitely need some, this is Cad Lemon, which is bright yellow, and then we'll need some probably yellow ochre for the undertones. At least that's what I used in the, yeah, I think that will get us started. I do also have burnt sienna here, but don't think we need that right now. Okay, now what I want to look at is, with my kind of block in underpainting, what do I need to do to make this work as a painting? And I think one of the main things that pops out at me right away are the lines. So there are uneven lines all over this place. I think by cleaning up some of those lines, we can really do well. However, or we can improve things. However, I want to kind of mix some, I want to do work on this sky a little bit. Ooh. There's a big chunk of the white that was dried out, so we will dump that into our drying. Okay, so I want to mix a little bit of blue with this. That might even be too much blue. But we'll see. It looks white on the palette, I understand. However, and we don't want it so blue, so we want a little bit of the red to, or the burnt umber. That takes it really brown. Mix that in. There, now we have kind of a gray. I think that will be good for and I'll bring some of this down here towards the skyline, just because I think that will be interesting. And I'll take a more detailed brush and bring some of this in. But I think I'm going to take this branch out of here, that yellow. Just composition wise, I think it's more interesting. And then we'll come back and with the detail brush and do a little more. I'm just really focusing on shaping this a little bit. It's got a little bit murky in the underpainting. So I just want to kind of reestablish this. And again, I'm just trying to shape this a little bit so it's more interesting. Alright, we'll take a little bit more of this in here, take a little more of this gray. Probably have to bring some more white into here. Give us kind of a shadow color on this. Again, the goal with this is to really create some better lines, I guess. Now I'm just playing a little bit with this, figuring out that's a little some of these, where to put in some, and they have to be pretty subtle cloud shapes just to give it some interest and not to make it look super too organic, inorganic, I should say. Welcome to those of you joining us just now. Glad to have you in the live stream. We are just doing some refining of this painting. So we're doing a little more work on it. Okay, let's see. Once I get kind of a shape that I'm happy with, we'll see. So, okay. Don't want to overpaint it, but definitely I think I went a little crazy with this tree last time in the underpainting. I took it way out into the, because I was just blocking in crazy, which is fine, but let's see. Now that we have the basic idea, I think the sky is good. I think what would be important to do is to come back and with a fairly detailed brush and really define the edges of these trees and put in the sky holes. So that said, let's see if we can do that. So I'm going to start with a little and let's really start to see if we can build this out to the sky. See what we can do. If we do it well, then... Oh, sounds yummy. Thanks for letting me be your dinner entertainment. Mom, you'll have to ask Dad if he remembers taking this picture with me. We were out driving on Kirk Road last fall, and we jumped out and walked a little bit along the trail because this tree was so vibrant. I wanted to get a picture of it, and the actual composition I think is so much better than what I thought it would be. Now this is basically what we're doing here is essentially it's sculpting. We put a big clump of, in this case it's not clay, but notice how that already reads so much more legitimate tree than it had, just by putting some, again, I've heard them called sky holes. I'm not sure what people again, we want it to look, the biggest challenge for any of us as painters is when you start doing trees and mountains and such, you start to automatically create patterns, and then things can quickly look unnatural. So that's the big challenge. So then eventually I'll have to step back and see where doesn't it make sense. You know, where is do the sky holes look really as we get closer in? there's fewer, just a few dots. This looks really... Okay, I like this. Now, I'm going to have to come down here and do the same thing, but kind of with the tree color instead. Or, you know, the background trees. But I'm pretty happy with how this looks, or how it's reading right now. And then we will come in and do then some refining perhaps around the leaves, you know, make it look a little more leafy, but we'll see. At a distance, I think it's going to read real well. Now, I did kind of the light side. Now I need to come back with kind of this shadower color, more shadow color. And let's see, let's go in here so it's not too dark yet. And then we can start, yeah, I think that's good. These out here. Again, you can start to see how quickly it can turn into patterns, and we want it to really be, because all the as much as I love Bob Ross and what he did, the perfect fan brush trees, there's a place for them, but hey Bob G, thanks. Josh who? Josh, my mind is drawing a blank. What do you think, guys? I think it looks pretty good. I don't want to go too much. Let me step back about 6 or 8 feet. Oh yeah, I think it's reading much better at a distance. I really like the shape of the tree. Now if I can do the same down here, we'll be really fortunate. Oh, Josh. Susanna's Josh. Sorry, Bob. That just... I was like, Josh who? I know, Josh. It's either actually Amy, there's an Amy Josh and a Susanna Josh. So, but I assume you're talking about Susanna Josh, Clinton School Josh. Okay. There we go. There we go. And we can always refine some of these. Okay, now have that. Now I want to take a little bit of my blue, a little bit of my brown, and I'm mixing this up. So we have that dark, almost black. Putting a little more brown, because what I want to come in and refine is again, this is all about the lines and again, a few spots is going to really help sell this. And it helps to suggest the shapes we've already carved out then start to really make sense. Notice how relatively little we're doing. Again, we're just kind of carving out some carving out Yes, sir. Got it. Got it. Yes. I don't miss Little Rock's weather at this point, but I do miss its people. I'll miss its weather again in September, October. Although our falls are usually pretty nice up here, so. I don't want to go too, again, it's getting a little patterny, so I don't want to do too much more. All right, now we put that in. So let's go back in here, mix a little more of this. Let's see if we can mix doing kind of a greenish color, that dark blue brown mix. Because that's really what we want to, kind of this deep. We do want it definitely green, but we don't want it like fluorescent green. So yeah, we do a little bit. So then we come in here and start to try to do the same thing with some shadows in our lighter areas. Down here next to the ground, we want it really shadowed. And then we want to start coming in and do the same thing with our that we did with our sky. Want to do the same thing we did with our sky holes. We'll bring this shadow all the way down into here. Okay, now we're getting up into the sky, which I've messed with before, but let's see if we can still keep it fairly dark. tough because we're mixing with the light. I came down here with the white, so it dilutes the dark green that we're trying to use. I think this is. I might have just messed that up, but it looks like it's sticking out too far. Maybe we can go back later and darken it up. Ooh, that's really dark. By remixing some of this stuff, we notice now how much more finished this all looks. I have not added very much detail at all, other than kind of carving out these spots that, you know, like you may think, Steven, what are you doing? This is and I'll be able to come back here with this lighter colors and lighten this up, but gives us the feeling we want. Ooh. I gotta be careful where I put and how I put shadows in. But if we put shadows in correctly, now I'm brightening this a little bit with just a little bit of yellow, but a lot of the brown. Do just a little bit of yellow instead of white. Then it will brighten it up. We can do a little bit more that brownish color. Let's see what we can do, because we want to start to put a variety of colors under here, because that gives the brightness of our leaves something to stand out against. So now let's see what we can do. We want to leave our suggestion of shadow closer to, and this right hand side of the tree, and closer to the center of the, because the closer we get in the center here, the more dense the foliage is. So and the closer it gets to the ground, now back in here, I think that's not going to work. Over here it works, but this needs to be lighter. So, but I think I can bring in the dark over here under this tree. Now, I need to probably come in with another brush and mix a light color of this. Maybe a little white. I can't remember what I did last time, but it's kind of that reddish color. It is diffused a little bit because it's a little bit backwards, so we put some white in. And then, not sure, I think we're just going to take that tree out. We'll see how this looks. Mixing it, now I can bring in actually I like that, so it kind of looks like there's some depth back in there, and there's maybe a meadow, but again with this we can then blend it into this area here, because I had the brown already there, but it was too dark. So we can say, there we go. We bring I don't want that. That's too. Okay. Now, This is the advantage of oils, is we can blend these now a little bit, and we can blend in different colors and things. You can kind of create the feeling we want. I don't know if that's good. I probably shouldn't have done that, but because there's some okay, I'm going to come back here with our white, and I'm going to start figure this one. I'm not sure if it's going to be as easy because you need a lot to suggest. There's a lot of twigs and such in here that it is you want to suggest that it is you want it clear that this is a pine tree. What was it Bob Ross would say? Happy little accidents. So we'll just keep working until it looks how we want it to look. Kind of jig and jagging. Again, it's learning a technique and then being shocked when it works. Okay, now since we have the I'm going to try to come in here and do more suggesting the texture of the at the edges, gives a little more definition to these so that they stand out against that white a little. Like evergreens. And if we can sell it correctly on the outside, then the assumption is it's correct on the inside, if that makes sense. This is the challenge, because it can look really cartoony quick. Like you get these big blocks of stuff. Let me step back. That works, I think. I still hate that I did that. So let's see if we can fix it, if it's dry enough to fix. Let's try. Let us try. See if we can blend it in so that it relatively disappears. I think we can. There we go. Basically. And I want to take some of this down here and take it into here. You know why? Because I'm the artist and I decide what makes a good painting, not a reference. There. Because I want definite blue tints around the tree because blue and yellow are complementary. So I want lots of blue in the clouds. Not lots, but definite, visible. Except I don't want it to look like it does now, like it's been colored in there, which it has, but that's where we can. Okay, now we need to figure out there's a few more people in the room tonight. Thanks for stopping by. Let's see, we're gonna go back to the yellow tree. We've shaped it, we've detailed it, we've put all our sky in. Now I think what I want to do is go in and finish the color of this tree. And so let's see what we can do. I'm mixing a little red because I want to push that a little bit out here. I definitely push it into see if I can do this. Now we're kind of messing this up a little bit. Oh, you know what? I'm about to lose y'all. Let me plug this charger in quick. Come on, come on. I didn't see that. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Sorry. My Mac is about to go to sleep, so if I lose you, that's exactly what happened, and I apologize. Let me crawl under the table, and success. Do I still have you? I think I do, and you are plugged in, so we should not lose you. I was concerned. Y'all. Okay, now, I hope I don't ruin the painting by doing this, but I think I'm on the right track. Again, I'm basically going in like I did before, and we're just shaping, sculpting essentially. What this does, in addition to multiple layers, is it gives us it helps the brights. Notice when we put a little bit of this red around there, then the yellows really pop out. And same up here, like these oranges and okay. Now we don't want to overdo that, so then we want to, I'm going to see if I can do this, maybe this. I don't know. Okay, now we'll take a little bit of red, yellow, create kind of orange-ish. Let's see, then we got orange here, kind of an orangish red. What can we do with this? So now we come in here. So what we're trying to do is we're coming in with a mid-tone so that we can give a place for the highlights to go from here. Otherwise, it's all going to look like highlight. That makes sense. I don't know that it does, but that's the goal. At least that's the intention. Then over on this side, it is this is actually our highlight on this side, or should be. So we just want a few places where it stands out. And I don't, again, know exactly what I'm doing, so I may ruin this, but I don't think so. Again, I just want to keep it from looking too inorganic. And all of these variations of different colors and textures lead us to a real three-dimensional look. Theoretically, we'll see if that actually pans out. Okay, now what we want to do is do our I want to mix the lightest light we're going to do. This kind of yellow, ochre, yellow, lemonish, ochreish color. Okay, now there. See if we can. Now, where do we want? Want the brightest yellows. I think on the edge here next to our greens. This yellow is really translucent, so we need the ochre base. I don't know if it's going to work the way I want it to. Might be too much. If not, this will be a great lesson on what not to do. Always learn something. I'm afraid that it's going to be too muddy down in here. Maybe not. Again, our main goal is that it looks as three-dimensional as possible. Okay, let me step back and just take another look. Whew. I think I like it. I don't want to do too much because it gets really muddy in the center there. I do feel like there's still some opportunity for this orangish color. There's definitely more orange in there. I love the orange. I don't want to flatten it too much. So we gotta be careful we don't, because if we put too much orange in, then we lose the yellow. Yep, you just go back and forth. Darks and lights, midtones. What works, what doesn't. I'm not sure. This is distracting me. I wonder if I can take this and there we go. There, maybe that helps. I don't know. Okay. I think it's enough to quit. Time to quit fiddling so much. I don't think there's anything I'm going to do that's going to make it much better. Let's see, the final thing that I wanted to do, I don't know if I can do. We'll see. I wanted to just a suggestion of definition around this trail. I don't want to mess this up. Oh, I think I did. Let me. Messed up, messed up, messed up. But because it's oil, we can fix it. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. Just blend it all. And that's actually how the trail out here is, because it's this. Okay. I think I'm gonna quit fiddling. Fall on the Michelson Trail. All right, y'all, I think I'm gonna wrap. We are right at the top of the hour, which is perfect. It is a sauna in this room, so oops, I think I just put, I don't know what I was doing, my goodness. I just put my gloves up against, inadvertently, against my forehead to wipe sweat, and I think I wiped. Let's look if I have, oh yeah, oil paint on my forehead. Because look, I have paint all, I don't know why, but I have that dark paint on my, okay. Whew. It is spicy in this attic. So I am going to go lower. But first, I am going to say good night to you all. Da, da, da. And say thank you so much for being with me this evening. Those of you that stayed all the way to the end. All right. Let me see if I can show you. There we are. Not too bad. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, and I learned quite a bit as always. So, thank you for joining me on the journey. It has been a pleasure having you here in my studio. We'll hide my junk. This is also my storage space in my apartment. So I want to say thank you so much for joining me here in the studio this evening. We will be back next Monday night at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. Until then, I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you next time. Take care, everybody. Good night.